Okay, let's be real. Choosing a life partner, it's probably the single biggest decision you are ever going to make. But the advice we get is all over the place. Follow your heart, listen to your parents, check their bank account. Today, we're going to cut through all that noise. We're going to explore a completely rational way to think about this choice, moving beyond all the usual ideas to build a more reliable path to happiness. For so many of us, it feels like the whole decision just boils down to this one question. Do I follow my heart and go for a love marriage, or do I trust the wisdom of my family and have an arranged marriage? It's often presented like those are the only two options on the table. But here's a pretty radical thought from our source material. What if both of those paths are fundamentally flawed? What if basing the biggest decision of your life on either a fleeting romantic feeling or a purely practical arrangement is just a bad strategy for long-term happiness? To build a better way of thinking, we first have to understand these two powerful forces that are constantly at war inside of us. It's this primal conflict between our deep, deep biology and our modern social rules. So on one side, you have nature's law. This is your biology talking. It's primal, it's instinctual, and it's really driven by one thing: reproduction. On the other side, you have society's law. Marriage as an institution is a social contract. It's an agreement designed to create order and stability in our communities. And here is the most crucial insight you need to understand. When these two forces clash, when social expectations fight against our biological instincts, our primal nature almost always wins. You just can't ignore it. So any smart framework for choosing a partner has to start by respecting this fundamental truth. Okay, so with that big conflict in mind, let's tackle the elephant in the room. This whole idea of love. We're told it's the only thing that matters, but what if it isn't the solid foundation we all think it is? Our source puts it so bluntly, I love it. Love is an emotion. It's here today, gone tomorrow. Now, this isn't saying that love isn't real. It's just framing it as a feeling, a temporary state that can, and often does, change. It's kind of like the weather. Beautiful one day, a total storm the next. And just think about it for a second. Where does our modern idea of love even come from? It's not some pure internal thing we're born with. It's been programmed into us by movies, songs, books, and stories that sell this perfect, idealized, and honestly, pretty unrealistic version of what lifelong passion looks like. So, if love is just a temporary emotion that's been heavily shaped by pop culture, then trying to build a lifelong commitment on top of it is incredibly risky. It's like building a house on a foundation of sand. All right, so if we can't completely rely on the feeling of love, and we know that arranged marriages can focus too much on things like money, then what's left? What is the actual most important thing to look for in a partner for long-term success? This is where we get to build that better framework. Let's think of it as a pyramid with 4 different layers. It's a rational hierarchy of choice, and we have to start with the most fundamental layer at the very bottom. The base of the entire pyramid, the absolute non-negotiable foundation, is health. This goes right back to nature's law. Our primary biological instinct is to find a partner who is healthy enough to have healthy children. This isn't about some superficial standard of beauty. It's our primal brain doing a quick, unconscious check for vitality and fitness. It's nature's first filter, and it's a big one. So once that biological foundation is in place, we move up the pyramid to what is arguably the most critical layer for lasting happiness. This is the real measure of compatibility: attitude. Layer 2, the absolute core of a partnership that lasts, is attitude similarity. Now, this is not about having the same hobbies or liking the same food. It's about having a shared outlook on life, a similar fundamental approach to the things that really matter. This is the true predictor of whether you'll be happy together in the long run. So what do we actually mean by attitude? Well, it comes down to these big areas. Money. How do you both see it? Is it for saving, for spending, for investing? Family. What's the role of in-laws? How do you want to raise kids? Freedom. What does personal space mean to each of you? And of course, your core life values on things like religion, friends, and ethics. A major mismatch here is going to cause constant, exhausting friction. And this is exactly why attitude is so critical. Love, like we said, is an emotion that can change like the wind. But a person's fundamental attitude, that's the bedrock. It's a stable trait they've developed over their entire life. And you always, always want to build your house on solid rock, not on shifting sand. Okay, so once you have that foundation of health and that core of a similar attitude, then you can add the final 2 supporting layers to the pyramid. These are culture and finance. They're important, but they have to come second.
Layer 3 is culture, and layer 4 is finance. Look, having a similar cultural background, shared traditions, values, language, it just makes life easier. It reduces friction. And being on a similar financial level provides stability. But you have to remember, these are just supports. They aren't the main structure. All the money in the world can't fix a fundamental clash in your core attitudes.
All right, let's put all of these pieces together. This is the complete framework, a real tool you can use to make a conscious, intentional choice. So here it is, the decision pyramid. And listen, the order here is everything. You have to start with the non-negotiable foundation of health. From there, you evaluate the absolute core of compatibility, attitude. And only after that do you consider the supporting layers of culture and finance. Getting this priority right is the key to the whole thing. And now you can see exactly why the old models are so flawed, right? Love marriages tend to get fixated on emotion while totally ignoring the core of attitude. And arranged marriages often jump straight to the top of the pyramid, finance and culture, while skipping the most important layer completely. This framework forces you to build from the foundation up, focusing on what will actually last. Ultimately, this framework isn't designed to give you a simple, magic answer. It's designed to give you the right questions. The goal is to help you shift from just passively letting things happen, whether because of feelings or family pressure, to actually taking control and making a conscious, careful evaluation of what makes a partnership work. So we'll end with this one, crucial question for you to think about. Whether you're single, dating, or already in a long-term partnership, just take a moment and ask yourself honestly, by what measure are you evaluating your partner? Is it based on a fleeting feeling, or is it based on the solid foundation of a truly compatible life?